The quaint suburbs of Ohio painted a picture of normalcy. It was a life Natasha Romanoff, known then as Natalia, craved. She had a sister, Yelena, a mischievous girl with a thirst for adventure. Their parents, Alexei Shostakov and Melina Vostokov, weren't who they seemed. They were masters of deception, undercover agents for the Soviet Union. The idyllic life was a carefully constructed facade. The mission was simple: infiltrate American intelligence. The years passed and the lines blurred. Natalia and Yelena, oblivious to the truth, embraced the charade as reality. Alexei, a hulking figure with a dry sense of humor, relished his role as the goofy father. Melina, a woman of sharp intellect and unmatched espionage skills, excelled as the picture-perfect mother. But beneath the surface, a storm brewed. Their carefully crafted world crumbled when their true identities were compromised. Escape became the only option, a desperate flight into the unknown. The quaint life in Ohio vanished, leaving behind a trail of shattered dreams and a future shrouded in uncertainty. The escape was a blur, a chaotic scramble for freedom. The girls, torn from the only home they knew, clung to their parents for reassurance. But the comfort was fleeting. Their destination, Cuba, the heart of their clandestine operation and the gateway to the Red Room. Cuba's vibrant energy couldn't mask the sinister purpose that awaited the girls. They were deemed liabilities, collateral damage in their parents' world of espionage. The Red Room, a brutal training ground for assassins, awaited. Torn from their parents' grasp, Natalia and Yelena were thrust into a world of pain and manipulation. Within the Red Room's cold, sterile walls, childhood innocence was extinguished. They were no longer children but assets, molded into ruthless weapons. Every day was a test of endurance, a brutal ballet of combat training and psychological conditioning. Natalia, fiercely protective of Yelena, fought with a vengeance, determined to shield her sister from the worst of the horrors. Years bled into one another. The pain became a constant companion, the fear, a distant memory. The girls excelled, their natural talents honed into deadly skills. The Red Room broke them, reshaped them into the Black Widows, ghosts in the night, their past erased, their futures preordained. But beneath the layers of programming, a flicker of their former selves remained. The bond between the sisters, forged in shared trauma, could not be extinguished. It was a lifeline, a reminder of the life they once knew, the family they yearned to reclaim. Budapest. The word itself sent shivers down Natasha Romanoff's spine. It was a city steeped in shadows, a haunting reminder of her past as a Black Widow, a loyal servant to the Red Room. The mission: eliminate Dreykov, the mastermind behind the Red Room, the puppeteer who controlled their lives. Her companion, Clint Barton, Hawkeye, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the very organization that represented everything she had been trained to despise. The mission was fraught with danger, a deadly dance through Budapest's underbelly. Trust was a luxury they couldn't afford, yet it blossomed between them, a fragile understanding forged in the heat of battle. Natasha, torn between her loyalty to the Red Room and her growing conscience, made a choice. She chose freedom, chose to break free from the shackles of her past. The explosion that rocked Budapest was meant to sever her ties with the Red Room, a symbolic severing of the chains that bound her. It was a messy, chaotic affair, but Natasha emerged from the ashes, a phoenix reborn. The Black Widow, once a weapon of the Red Room, was gone. In her place stood Natasha Romanoff, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., ready to atone for her past. But the ghosts of Budapest lingered. The memories, etched in fire and blood, haunted her. The mission forged an unbreakable bond between Natasha and Clint, a shared history built on trust and respect. It was a turning point, a pivotal moment that set her on a path toward redemption. Natasha Romanoff lived in the shadows, a fugitive haunted by her past. The Sokovia Accords, meant to regulate enhanced individuals, had driven a wedge between the Avengers. Natasha found herself alone, adrift in a world struggling to understand the consequences of extraordinary power. And then a ghost from her past resurfaced. Yelena Belova, her sister, her fellow widow, reached out. They hadn't seen each other since that fateful escape from Ohio, their lives diverging on drastically different paths. Yelena, still entangled with the Red Room, carried the weight of their shared history, the pain of their stolen childhood. Their reunion was a collision of two worlds, a whirlwind of emotions. Suspicion and distrust hung heavy in the air. Years of conditioning, of being pitted against each other, were difficult to erase. But beneath the guarded facades, a flicker of recognition remained. The bond, forged in the fires of the Red Room, could not be so easily extinguished. Yelena brought with her a terrifying revelation. The Red Room was still operational, Dreykov was alive, and a new generation of widows was being unleashed upon the world. Natasha, burdened by guilt and a sense of responsibility, knew she couldn't ignore this threat. The past had come back to haunt her, and this time she wouldn't run. This time she would face her demons head-on. The reunion with Yelena ignited a spark in Natasha. A sense of purpose that had been dormant for years roared back to life. They were no longer pawns in Dreykov's twisted game. They were women on a mission, determined to dismantle the Red Room and free the widows from his control. Their quest for justice led them to Alexei and Melina, their former parents, each grappling with their own demons. The reunion was strained, a tangled web of resentment and longing. But as they delved deeper into the belly of the beast, they were forced to confront their shared past, the lies that had defined their lives. The Red Room, once an impenetrable fortress, now felt within reach. They had the element of surprise, the shared history that Dreykov had underestimated. Natasha, fueled by a mother's love for the women she swore to protect, was a force to be reckoned with. She would burn the Red Room to the ground, even if it meant sacrificing everything. As they infiltrated the Red Room's hidden fortress, the full scope of Dreykov's depravity became horrifyingly clear. Rows upon rows of widows, their minds enslaved, their bodies honed into lethal weapons, served as a stark reminder of the life Natasha and Yelena had narrowly escaped. The fight ahead would be their most personal yet. It was a fight for their freedom, for the lives of the widows, and for the chance to rewrite their own narratives. The air crackled with tension as Natasha, Yelena, Alexei, and Melina launched their assault. The Red Room, once their prison, became their battleground. Years of training, honed to a razor's edge, were unleashed upon their enemies. Each widow they freed, each mind they liberated from Dreykov's control, fueled their resolve. Dreykov, a shadowy figure accustomed to operating from the shadows, had underestimated their determination. He had underestimated the power of their bond, the fury of women scorned. The battle raged, a chaotic ballet of violence and desperation. The Red Room, once a symbol of their oppression, crumbled under the weight of their rebellion. But freedom, they soon learned, came at a price. In a final act of self-sacrifice, Natasha made a choice. She gave her life to ensure the survival of the widows, to break the cycle of pain and manipulation that had defined their lives. It was a decision that shattered Yelena, ripped through the found family they had fought so hard to rebuild. The world mourned the loss of Black Widow, a hero who had sacrificed everything to protect it. But for Yelena, Alexei, and Melina, the grief cut deeper. They had lost a daughter, a sister, a comrade. Natasha's death left a void, a constant reminder of the price of freedom, the weight of legacy. The world grieved for Black Widow, a hero who had operated in the shadows, her sacrifices often unseen, her motives questioned. But in death, her true nature shone through. Natasha Romanoff, the girl who had been molded into a weapon, had chosen to become a shield, protecting the world from threats it never even knew existed. Yelena, consumed by grief and rage, swore vengeance on those responsible for her sister's death. She clung to Natasha's memory, her anger a testament to the depth of their bond. But as she navigated her own path, Yelena began to understand the weight of Natasha's sacrifice. She realized that her sister's legacy extended far beyond vengeance. The world wouldn't forget Black Widow. Her courage, her unwavering dedication to justice continued to inspire. The Red Room, once a breeding ground for assassins, was no more. The widows, freed from their programming, were given a chance at a new life. A chance that Natasha had so selflessly given them. Natasha Romanoff might be gone, but her spirit lived on, a beacon of hope in a world teetering on the edge of chaos. Her sacrifice had paved the way for a brighter future. A future where young women would no longer be molded into weapons, but empowered to become the heroes of their own stories. And as the remaining Avengers regrouped, ready to face whatever threats lay ahead, they carried with them the memory of the Black Widow. A constant reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope could bloom.